Every 3 hours and 15 minutes, a child is killed by a firearm.
Every 7 minutes, a child is arrested for a violent offense.
Every hour, a child dies from an accident.
Every 6 hours, a child commits suicide.
An estimated 3.5% of children under the age of 18 in the United States have experienced the death of a parent. Because men between the ages of 25 and 49 die at 2.5 times the rate of the same-aged woman, children are more likely to lose a father. For every person that dies, there are 7 to 8 people left to grieve. 19% of children grieving the loss of a parent demonstrate serious problems at the first-year anniversary. Parents who have difficulty coping with their own grief often have children who report much higher levels of behavioral issues in and outside the home. Research data demonstrates that children who don't get the help and attention they need in the midst of a loss are at risk for
Depression,
suicide,
Juvenile delinquency,
Poor academic performance.
substance abuse.
how children mourn is strongly linked to their developmental level, including their understanding of death. Open Arms is a prevention program whose program goals are to provide long-term support to children and their families. Additional support is offered to family members traumatized by homicide, gun violence, or domestic violence.
Open Arms receives funding from the Michigan Crime Victim Services Commission. Many of these clients that we see are innocent victims. Some have been victims of a drive-by shooting or have been assaulted by gangs in the community. And we actually go into the hospitals, we go bedside, provide counseling and support, offer them resources and information that will help them to deal with the trauma that they have experienced.
My 14-year-old son, Jamar, had gone to school. He was a sophomore at a Detroit public school. He was the type of child that was friendly with everyone. Instead of coming home that day, Jamar went to visit his friend. His friend was playing with his mother's gun. The gun discharged and killed Jamar at the age of 14.
His big brother wanted to take him to the zoo just a week prior to his death, and my son made other plans, and so he was supposed to take him that Saturday. He was killed that Thursday, and it took him probably about 2 months, and with the assistance of his therapist, Ms. Myers, he was finally able to unpack his bag that he had packed to go with his brother for the weekend.
It has just been really, really great for us. It has grown us together closer as a family, and let us know that life does go on after death.
It was a wonderful experience for me to see that my children were getting the help that they needed to grieve over their grandmother, and then 6 months later, their dad passed.
The other people in the group helped me by showing me that I'm not alone in this world. They have gone through the same thing. I'm not the only one, and that they're going to be there for me.
I was interested in working at St. John. You go into the schools, you go and work with families that were struggling with traumatic situations. For the last 10 years prior to coming to this position, I worked with the aftermath. I worked with juveniles that were locked up because they never had anyone to speak with or to address the traumas that they were dealing with.
We engage with the stages of grief, and we normalize, validate, and confirm those feelings that are associated with loss.
The most challenging group has been high school students, only because you never know what type of mood high school students are in. However, I think it also has been the most rewarding because they're so honest about their feelings, and they're honest about their grief as well.
Open Arms participants are able to process their grief in healthy ways by creating grief quilts, feeling masks, peace chains, memory t-shirts, and expressive poetry.
Usually we'll talk about the front represents your what you allow others to see. So this is a really good activity for young people and adults to really talk about what's really going on, deep down inside of them.
Open Arms helps family members of all ages to embrace life again. A few of the benefits of participation include
Improve family relationships and communication skills.
Anger management skills. Discovery of personal strengths. Increase self-esteem. Decrease depression.
Having spent much time with the Open Arms program, I've learned a lot about the programs that we have outside the hospital and the good work that we do for our communities. I spent hours talking with the staff at Open Arms as well as the families that we've served. I can tell you the staff are some of the most dedicated, compassionate people I've ever met. And the families come to us when they are so vulnerable and they experience grief and loss, oftentimes in a traumatic way. Being able to provide support to these families is a wonderful opportunity for us. Our challenge is to make sure that we can reach as many people as we can and provide the services to all those that are suffering and in grief.
Open Arms is a community program of the St. John Community Health Investment Corporation, a 501c3 corporation, and is made possible by community and corporate support.